Price May is back. Price was a high school student that came with us on the first day, filmed. He told me, I'm just going to go to the college for 1 year and then I'm going to move on. Well, this is his third, and he's a college rock star, and we're glad he's here. As our want, Miss Susan Bates is our rock star here. We would not be here without her. Thank you very much.
I want to mention my sidekick for the past couple months to help me with my wing. She's my wingman. I am the wing woman. Sarah.
All right, there we go, Sarah. Very, very good. I have a pad by the coffee pot if you want to be put on your listserv so I can really bother you on a regular basis. I am happy to do that. If not, we have a Facebook page, and I know that's old hat, but for me it's new. We have a Facebook page. You can follow and join us, and that'd be cool. Do we have any new visitors today? Any new folks? Good. Hey, great, great, great. Please, if you all just don't take their wallets, but welcome them at halftime. And well, I'm glad y'all are here. Our first presenter, and this is really cool. We once had a student present. Now we have a lab coordinator from our Camden campus, essentially a chemist who is responsible to make sure all the other chemists behave themselves in the lab. So I am pleased to introduce Jeri Guyette of Vintage Vixen Cosmetics, LLC. Here we go.
Good morning, everyone. I'm also an alumna of the college. I actually.
Oh, sorry. I'm passive aggressive, just ignore me.
That's okay. I'm aggressive. That's why our tag name is Vintage Vixen Cosmetics, and our tagline is Awaken Your Inner Alpha. So there we go. But no, I also I went to the College of Coastal Georgia. My name, of course, is Jeri Guyette. I am the CEO and founder of Vintage Vixen Cosmetics. I have these notes to stay on tack because he said 6 to 8 minutes, and I get so excited about my business that if he doesn't time me and ring me, we'd be up here all day because I could talk about this all day. But again, I went back to the college to get a degree. Actually graduated in 2016. And I went back to school because I always wanted to have my own degree. And I ended up getting married young and having kids and being a military wife. And so what I did is I went back to school. When I graduated high school, I moved from Savannah, Georgia to New York. And in New York, I went to Wilford Beauty Academy. When I went to beauty school, it was because I was a model, but then I didn't hit the 5'9", I'm only 5'6", and so I wanted to stay in the fashion industry. And I went to school to become a makeup artist. And in the school back in the day, and I'm going to say back in the day, it was you had to get a general license. You had to get a full umbrella license. So I was like, you mean I got to do nails and hair? I just want to do makeup. I want to do beauty stuff. I want to go to Hollywood. I want to do all the makeup in Hollywood. And so, of course, I ended up getting the umbrella license. Getting the umbrella license turned out to be the best thing for me. Because as a Navy wife, we traveled different cities. I've lived in Argentina, Newfoundland. I've lived in Italy. We've been in Germany. I learned how to speak the language, and then found out, of course, I'm an esthetician. So as a paramedical esthetician, the best thing for you to do is when you go to these spas, you see these things that say European skincare. And people go, what is European skincare? It's like, well, let me tell you something. In Europe, they want American skincare, okay? So we all want what we don't have. And so I took advantage of traveling around and saying, okay, I'm going to study in Baden-Baden, Germany, did a tour to Rome, Italy, and then, of course, when I was in Canada. So one of the things that I found is I had an entrepreneur spirit from a long time ago. I mean, I've always been trying to find businesses, and of course, my husband was in the Navy, and he's like, okay, but we can't stay too long because you can't build a business when you're always traveling. So I can say I was a serial entrepreneur. I had Casas Dia daycare center in my home to help other military wives while I was transitioning. And so I went through a lot of different companies before I found what I loved, which I always loved skincare. So I got married at 19 and said, by the time I hit 25, I'm gonna have my own cosmetic line. And then at 25, I was the mother of a 3-year-old, but not a cosmetic line. And then I was like, okay, if I don't do this by 30, it's never gonna happen. And then again, at 30, I became the mom of 2 girls, okay? So like, well, okay, I'm birthing these daughters, but the daughter I wanted was to have my own cosmetic line. Well, after I was going through some situations in my family and in my marriage, and while I was going to school, I ended up paying per class. So it took me 11 years to get that degree at College of Coastal Georgia, but I did it. Okay? I started with 1 class. I would tell you I went back to school after 17 years of being out of school. So I started in 2004. I didn't graduate until 2016. Now, I would tell you in the interim, before I went back to school to get my degree, I was a paramedical esthetician. I've been a paramedical esthetician for 33 years. I work with plastic surgeons around the world. I work with dermatologists around the world. I've worked with cellular studies. I've taught nurses. I've taught doctors. I've written for a lot of skincare magazines, dermatological magazines. And one of the things I wanted to do was go back to school and do something that the recession would not hit my economy. Because in 2008, when the recession happened, I was downsized from the surgery center in 2011. In 2011, I was still going to school, but I actually ended up getting a job as a student assistant on the campus, working in the chemistry department, the anatomy department, the biology department, the microbiology department, and I had 4 years as a student assistant. When I graduated in 2016, we had like maybe 40,000, I think the consensus at the time was 40,000 graduates, 20,000 jobs. Guess what? I thought I would go right into the academia and chemistry world with my new degree, and ended up having to be called by a plastic surgeon who had went out on his own. I had helped open 10 medical spas in Jacksonville alone. And so that particular surgeon had history with me. He says, look, can you come in my place and see what's going on? I did a walkthrough and I was like, you're in violation of 15 things already. I haven't even seen your facial room, you know? And I'm a laser tech, so I had to go back to school to do that. So I had all these licenses and certifications and no degree. So I'm like, I'm going into the medical field. I'm going to be I'm going to be a medical technologist. I'm going to be in the lab because the recession doesn't happen to the lab. And I'll tell you why. You all need the lab for your blood work, for your saliva, for everything. Your doctor can't even tell you what's wrong without us. So we're lab rats. We're very important. You don't see us in the hospital because we're tucked in the back down there with your specimen. But I noticed that I was missing something. Something kept calling for me, and I wasn't happy. So I kind of got angry with myself. I'm like, wait a minute. It took 11 years to get this degree. Now I have a degree, and I'm not feeling fulfilled. What was missing is I love science, but I also love aesthetics. And if you notice, every college has an arts and science department. You cannot separate art from science. You just can't. Leonardo da Vinci, you know, these were physicists before we knew them as artists. And so what I decided to do was, you know what, I'm going to go back into this field, but I didn't know how. And at the time, because I've always wanted to have my own business, my own cosmetic business, I didn't know because it's an overly saturated market. All I heard was, why would you do that? We have makeup. But my line was wanting to deal with a problem that I saw in my treatment rooms in all the years. I treated acne, I treated hyperpigmentation, and I definitely treated aging skin. My highest clientele was aging skin. It is our nature to want to find the fountain of youth. But for me, in my personal life, I realized that some people don't get a chance to age. Aging is a gift. So I didn't want to create anti-aging products because there's no such thing as anti-aging. We're chronologically aging every day. But what I wanted to do was create something that was going to help the skin on a cellular structure, and that was going to let women be comfortable with themselves as they grew and matured within themselves. And so I created Vintage Vixen Cosmetics line. The line is geared for us to help women stimulate and boost collagen. So if you're gonna wear lipsticks all day, you might as well let something be beneficial to you. Right now I'm wearing the Monroe because all of our first line is the Vixen line, which is the Vixen collection. it is named after 10 famous Hollywood stars that I found were very important. Most people only know Marilyn Monroe as the blonde bombshell. But let me tell you something. Marilyn Monroe got tired of playing the ditzy blonde, and she founded her own company, the Marilyn Monroe Production. A lot of people did not know that. Josephine Baker was actually a spy, and she would record notes on invisible ink on her sheet music. And no one stopped to think about stopping this wonderful African-American singer. So, hey. And then we have Lena Horne. We have, I just put Billie Holiday out yesterday because a lot of women like that. But we have Eartha Kitt. All of these women, when I did the background, was embracing themselves. They were pioneering, they were empowering women, and the colors were bold. So I made sure that when we were working on the color itself, that we stay true to the line, to stay true to the colors that they made. And I would tell you that I didn't just fall into the makeup. I was doing my grandmother's makeup since I was 5. I didn't even know what it was called, makeup artistry, any of those things. But I wanted to touch base on that to let you know that the line itself was geared to be beneficial. So our tagline is, awaken your inner alpha. We have a lot of women that want to start things in life. And when we have that second chapter, which is what I'm in, because I'm 50 years old, since August 28th of this year. So that's great longevity there. And I am wearing our new lashes because we just launched them last week. So these are called the red carpets for a reason. Because if you've ever seen the red carpet, you always see that they have everything is big and grand. So I'm dressed like this because I'm mostly an e-commerce business, but when I do pop-ups, this is what they see. I bring out the red carpet. So this is why I founded Vixen Cosmetics, and that was my history.
Thank you. Let's stay and ask you some questions. I see some men out here who badly need help too. Is there a line for men planned, or can I be a Lena Horne?
You can be whatever you want to be. Have you seen the climate of our world?
That's right.
I can't even ask you. I had a guy say, well, is the makeup just for men, for women, or can men wear it too? And I was like, whatever floats your boat. I said, because your money's green and I don't really care about that.
There you go.
But I do have next year, because like I said, my love was cosmetics, but I ended up loving skincare over the years, and I'm a really great person about treating it. So we're slated to release our skincare line next year. So then, of course, men can use that.
Okay, good. What sort of sales volume do you do?
I'm only 4 months old. And I can tell you, a lot of people don't want to talk about entrepreneurship, but in 4 months, I was discouraged because I am a member of several women's empowerment groups out of Jacksonville, Florida, and in Atlanta, Georgia, because I live down in Kingsland. But it wasn't until Sunday at the Confidently Certified conference that I found out that my sales were actually up to par for a 4-month-old, and especially 4 months without name brand recognition. So this woman got up and said she was open for 6 months and she only had 3 website sales. And I was open for 4 months and I've had 13 website sales. But when I do pop-ups, my sales increase because I'm there. I get to talk about my product. So we launched June 15th, and for a cosmetic line where the lipsticks is only $18, we cleared almost $800 that day. And then I can say that we have highs and then we have lows. So my sales are very sporadic right now because right now I'm doing more brand recognition and trying to get that out there. Also explaining to women what the difference is with my company. Like I had where this company sells their lipsticks for $6 or $8. I go, yes, but you know why my cost is there? It's beneficial. I stand behind my brand. I have 33 years behind this history. I also have the chemistry behind this history. And I have the company's mission to maintain that we are a USA-based company. We are cruelty-free and we are paraben-free. So to keep the products in the States, it is going to be a little more costly, but that's important to me. So.
I'm pretty loud. What about an allergen line? There's so many people these days who need to make sure there's no gluten in their skincare, things like that. So do you have an allergen line?
When you have an allergen line and you say gluten, I'm going to be honest with you. My job at the surgery center was OSHA training and FDA regulations. And there is no such thing as anti or hyperallergenic. You're going to find that even when you have gluten-free, when you have sulfate-free, you have phthalate-free, you have all those lines. They're considered by the FDA regulation. Remember, regulation is not the same as approved. So they're considered vegan-free, which means if they're, vegan-friendly. So if they're vegan-friendly, then you naturally should not have a lot of allergies to it because they're botanicals, and you yourself, organic. But in this day and age, we are exposed to so many different things that anyone can develop an allergy. I was never allergic to soy. I'm allergic to milk, but now I'm allergic to soy. So what do I do? So I have to tell you right now, even if you're gluten-free, you have all these different things, someone is going to have an allergy to something. It's just really impossible to do that. So right now we have our PETA because we're cruelty-free, and then we're vegan-friendly. So that was another thing. I know a lot of ingredients can go in my products, but one of the things I want to make sure is this is my fourth formula. The first formula was so dry, I couldn't even smile. And with women, like I said, 35 and finer, because this is what the line is for. It is because we have dryness, we have surgical menopause, natural menopause. I suffer from hypothyroidism, so that causes skin dryness. So I'm addressing a lot of different issues, but we have to remember, even with a cosmetic line, the color itself has a larger particle. So you can only go so many nanometers in the skin before you find benefits. Yes.
Any written material for us, anything?
Oh, yes. I brought it here. You mean for information on my company? Yes, I brought with myself these folders that has information about the company as well as about myself. And in those little baskets, it has a flyer that has a discount code for 10% off on your first purchase if you use the code NewGlam in town. And then of course we have mints and then on our business cards. But my website is vintagevixencosmetics.com, and we try to put everything on there under Brand at Glam. We sell t-shirts. We just, like I said, released the Glam Dram collection. And then under Glam Goodies, you will find all the botanicals that we use. We use coconut oil, we use shea butter, we use avocado oil, castor oil. We use a lot of canuba because one of the things I had liked before was the beeswax, but then again, that's not cruelty-free because those are bees. When I released my lashes, it took a while for that as well because we had to make sure the synthetic fiber was not going to cause as much irritation. It had to be light, it had to be free. Another thing is I wanted to make them reusable. Ladies, you can use this 15 to 20 times with the care. Whereas you purchase lashes, they're disposable. But one of the things that came up in one of my meetings and my roundtable was, hey, we don't want mink lashes. I'm like, of course we don't want mink lashes because we're trying to stay cruelty-free. But silk lashes is really following behind the mink lashes. And silk lashes are not cruelty-free either because they're silk-on. So there are a lot of things that go into it where I have a lot of ideas. It's like, how do I stay true to the mission of the product, and then how do we make the product stable to pass QC too?
Well, Jeri, this has been great, very informative. We have any other questions? I'm sorry.
How did you find your production partners, or do you do everything yourself? Or?
I am the one-woman shop right here. Let me tell you, I don't know. You mentioned, Skip, about the women being in business, and I can tell you, women being in business and then being a minority in business. I had 10 companies when I came up with this line, the name 2 years ago, but I knew the concept. But last year, I had 10 companies literally say, your company's too small, what you want to do is too small, the minimum quantity order was too much. I had them get on the phone with their chemists and tell me, oh, that's not possible, you can't put that in there, you can't do this, you can't do this. The 11th company was a manufacturer out in California. I had emailed and called everyone January, February. I would tell you I did not get a call back after we had those conversations. This woman called me in June from an email that was sitting there from her assistant. And she called me in June. About that time, I was like, I don't even know who to go to for that. And she said, I just got this information. I like what you're going to do. And she says, when I came to this country, they told me that a female could not have this manufacturing company, so I am going to be your manufacturer. So I found my manufacturer in California, and we have not met in person. We've just been on the phone and doing everything, and we'll send samples and raw material. And she broke it down to me about how you have to do that for every product. Like, guys, this is just a lipstick, okay? This is Vintage Vixen, okay? For every product, there is a research and development fee. So when I want to go from the lipsticks to a lip gloss to an eyeshadow, it's a research and development fee. Sometimes the minimum fee is $2,000 just to start the research. Every time you go back in that lab, it's $1,000. It adds up. You're spending money on products that you don't have yet, that you have to sample. You pay for the raw materials, and then once they make the raw materials, you have to actually pay for your samples because they have to put it in containers to send to you. You know, so I was fortunate enough that I was up at night all night. I created my own logo, logojoy.com, guys. I'm telling you, you can create your own logo. And once you get it the way you want, you purchase it, they give you all the rights to it, it's yours. You go through and you get your trademark and you start it. And that's what I'm saying. It just takes all these no's, but you only need one yes. You only need one yes. So.
Super. Another question, one last question. Yes, sir.
How do you go to market? Are you consultant people, or are you retail? Are you web-based? How do you go to market?
I'm web-based, some e-commerce, but I also do what's called pop-up shops. I don't know if you've noticed a lot of the malls are closing stores. This is what we do. We get together and we'll take, I've gotten with some groups of women, and sometimes it's only on you, but I was fortunate enough to meet some women, and we'll pop up, like we're gonna be in Charlotte Russe. The stores are closing. We rent that Charlotte Russe out in that mall. We pop up there. We advertise. We let them know. I'm mostly online. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I go live every Saturday at 3 o'clock, and it's getting to where they're starting to come on. I'm on Instagram, so I was able to plug every time anybody wears that. We put that store so they can touch that picture and see, this is the color she's wearing, this is how much it is, and it directly takes them to that funnel so they can purchase it. So most of my sales are web-based, and so that's why I have to get it out there, and that's what the pop-up shops do. But I can tell you, going live has made them, they want to know your story. They know about your product, but they want to know your story. They want to know why I need to buy from you. So they get to pop on live, ask me questions, we talk about it, I give them 30 minutes. I get glammed up like this every Saturday, 3 o'clock. And then after that, around 3:30, I'm in the house going, okay, Lord, I can take my lashes off. Because as Skip said, I work in the lab, I wear jeans and sneakers in a lab coat because, you know, I can't get things all over my clothes and things. But this is what I'm selling, so I have to stay true to the brand. Every time I buy an outfit that I like, I send it to the girl who does my t-shirts out in Texas. She brands me, okay? Now, they don't even know me as Jeri Guyette. They see me in Jacksonville, in Atlanta. They see me in New York. You know what they say? Hey, Vixen. See, and I'm like, I don't even know these people, but they know me because I'm on social media. And it's important to be consistent on social media, because if you don't show up, you start losing your followers, and when you lose your followers, you lose sales. So I was never a social media person, but I'm gonna tell you, in 4 months, I have to do what I have to do.
Well, thank you very much. Jeri has some samples and some information. We're glad you came, and the proof you have come. You get our corporate swag. And let's go ahead and take a brief break, and then we'll have our next presenter.